Good morning to all. Today we are going to discuss a new chapter called Testing Object-Oriented Applications. In this chapter, first we are going to discuss only two concepts. In that first concept is broadening the view of testing, and the second concept is testing object-oriented analysis and object-oriented design models. So among these two concepts, the first concept is broadening the view of testing. So this is nothing but, so we are expanding the testing view into object-oriented environment, also a very new technology and emerging technology in the software development. So according to this concept, in this environment, we are going to discuss 2 points. One is how we are eliminating the unwanted or problematic concepts in the analysis environment, and if you are not eliminated such type of problems in the analysis environment, how they are affecting the design environment. These 2 points we are going to discuss in the concept called broadening the view of testing. Now come to the point. Broadening the view of testing means the construction of object-oriented software begins with the creation of requirements and design models. So that means very first the object-oriented softwares are begin with the construction of requirements analysis and design models. So from there the beginning of software or object-oriented softwares are started. So in this stage, at each stage, the model can be tested. So in the object-oriented softwares, each stage of models can be tested in an attempt to uncover errors prior to their propagation to the next iteration. So in the object-oriented environment of software development, each stage, what is the stage you are developed, that stage wants to test it. Why? Because means what are the errors, uncovered errors are there, if to avoid that one to carry from that stage to another stage. So we want to rectify all the errors in that stage itself. They are not moved to the next stage. So to maintain these types of environment in the object-oriented software development, so we want to maintain two parts or two stages. One is in the analysis stage, another one is in design stage. That means what are the unwanted extra attributes in the one stage. So what are the problems and unnecessary efforts you must avoid in the analysis stage itself. For that, what are the steps we want to follow? That's we are going to discuss now. So by eliminating the extraneous attributes at this stage, the following problems and unnecessary effort may be avoided during analysis. So in the analysis stage itself, if we avoid the problems or unnecessary efforts, what are to avoid those things, what are the steps we want to follow? So for that we have 3 steps. In that first one is special subclasses may have been generated to accommodate the unnecessary attributes or exceptions to it. So if there is any unnecessary attributes or any exceptions are there, to place them, we generate some special subclasses, and work involved in the creation of unnecessary subclasses have been avoided. If you created such type of subclasses, so the work, when you involved in the works, the creating of such type of subclasses may be avoided. That means before entering into the classes or works, sorry, entering into the work, main work, we creating subclasses and stored or placed such type of unwanted data in them. So to avoid that one in the main work, that is the first point. Then second one, A misinterpretation of the class definition may lead to incorrect or extraneous class relationship. That means some problematic class definitions, some miscellaneous class definitions may lead to incorrect, that means problematic environments or some extraneous class relations. Some it also creates some unwanted class relationships. So always we want to use a proper class definition. If there is any improper class definitions, they create always problems. That is the second point. Then third one is the behavior of the system or its classes may be improperly characterized to accommodate the extraneous attributes. So if any system behavior or its classes may be improperly characterized, it accommodate extraneous attributes. That means whatever the system you are using or whatever the classes you are using in the software development, there must be a proper behavior. If improper behavior system or any improper classes are there, they give the chance to for your extraneous attributes. That means improper attributes, unwanted attributes may be placed in your classes. So that is the first concept of analysis, to avoid unnecessary things. Then second one is the design part. If the problems is not uncovered during analysis and propagated further, the following problems occur during design. So that means in the analysis stage, if you are not avoided those problems, so they propagated into the design environment, and there also it creates some problems. So what are the problems they created in the design environment? Here also they are given in 3 points manner. First one, improper allocation of the classes to subsystem and task may occur during system design. That means if you are not properly allocated the classes to the subsystems, these tasks may also occur during in the design environment. That means if you are not avoided the unwanted things, for those things also you want to create the system design in the design environment, extra work may be availed here. So that's why, so if anything is unwanted, you must avoid in the analysis place. Otherwise, for that one also, you want to create the design in the design environment. Then the second point is unnecessary design work may be expanded to create the procedural design for the operations that address the extraneous attributes. That means if you are not avoided or eliminated the unnecessary things, for those things, for those unnecessary things, you want to do unnecessary design work in the procedural design environment also. So that is the concept of second point. Then third one is the messaging model will be incorrect. So for that unwanted data, you are carried from analysis area to design area. In the design area, you want to design for that unwanted things also. So that's why those unwanted design will carry incorrect message to the software development. So these are the problems in object oriented environment. So what are the problems you got in the object oriented environment? Please try to avoid in the analysis stage. If you are not avoided there, they extend their wing to design environment also, and you want to design some extra things in the design environment, and it leads to incorrect software development. So this is the concept of broadening the view of testing. So under that, these are the two concepts we need to discuss. Then the second concept today is testing object oriented analysis and object oriented design models. So in this concept we are testing the object oriented analysis and object oriented design models. So to discuss these models, we have two concepts. One is correctness of object-oriented analysis and object-oriented design models concept, and second point is consistency of object-oriented models. So in two manner we can design the models for object oriented analysis and object oriented designs. One is correctness and second one is consistency. So when you come to the correctness of object oriented analysis and object oriented design model, so how we can maintain the correctness in analysis and design models means by using the notations and syntax. That means the notations and syntax used to represent analysis and design models will be tied to the specific analysis and design methods that are chosen for the projects. That means when you are developing any projects, for that if you are maintain correctness in the object oriented analysis environment and object oriented design environment, we must use the proper representation of notations and syntax which are specifically designed for analysis and design methods. Those must be chosen for your projects. That means we must choose a proper design models and design notations and syntax for our projects. So for that, each model is reviewed to ensure that proper modeling conventions are being maintained. So that's why when you are designing anything, so or modeling anything, we must review that model to ensure whether we are using proper modeling conventions or not. So this is the concept of correctness. So when you maintaining like this with proper notations and syntax, we can maintain correctness in object oriented analysis and object oriented design models. So this is the first concept. Then second one is consistency of object oriented models. Consistency. So we know very well what is meant by consistency. Consistency means without having any problems or any confusions or any ambiguities. How we can maintain consistency in object oriented models means in the consistency of object oriented models may be judged by considering the relationships among entities in the model. So how we can judge the consistency in object oriented models means by considering the relationships among the entities in the model. So how we can consider this relationship among the entities means by using two methods. One is CRC method and second one is object relationship diagrams. They are used to solve this problem. Then come to the point. What is mean by CRC model? The very most important model to provide consistency for object oriented models. So CRC means class responsibilities collaboration. So we already discussed in our third unit. So this concept simply maintain an index card models. So index card model means just take a example of visiting card. So a visiting card format, just assume a visiting card format. In this card, first divide the card into two rows. So in the first row, top row represent the class name, and comes to the second row. Again the second row is divided into two columns. The first column contain the responsibilities and second column may contain the collaborators. So in this model, so basically three spaces are there in the index card. One for class name and another one below left side for responsibilities and right side for collaborations. So in this manner we are dividing the concepts that comes under class, responsibilities, collaborator method. We already discussed in our third unit just for verification. So go there and you can get the clarity about CRC model. By using that CRC model or object relationship diagram, how we are solving the problem. That is the next concept. To eliminate the to evaluate the class model, the following steps have been recommended. So what are those steps for finding the class model is five different points are there. In that, the first one is revisit the CRC model and object relationship model. So we want to consider CRC model and object relationship model once again. That is the first point. The second one, inspect the description of each CRC index card to determine if a delegated responsibilities is part of the collaborator definition. So we want to inspect the description, total description of your CRC index card. In the CRC index card, we are providing the description for a class name and what are the responsibilities of that class and who are the collaborators are there. So you want to determine the relation, responsibilities and the collaborators definition delegators. Then that is the second point. Then third one, invert the connection to ensure that each collaborator that is asked for service is receiving request from reasonable sources. That means invert the connection to ensure. So what is the connections we have between the relation, responsibilities and the collaborators? You want to invert that one and to ensure the collaborator asking the service is receiving request from the reasonable sources or not. That is your third point. Then using this invert connection, examine the step 3, determine whether other classes might be required or whether the responsibilities are properly grouped among the classes. So we want to determine that one by using this invert connection in step 3, whether we have other classes might be required or the responsibilities are properly grouped these classes. So finally, determine whether widely requested responsibilities must be combined into a single responsibility. So in this manner, we can evaluate the class models. For this evaluation of class models, we are using a most important concept called CRC model, class responsibility collaboration model and object relationship model. So these are the two concepts we discussed here. What are those means? First one, broadening the view of testing, and second one, testing object oriented analysis and object oriented design models. So in broadening the view of testing concept, it may contain two things. One is analysis phase and second one is design phase. So what are the problems we are facing in the analysis? We want to eliminate there. For that we have three steps. If you are not eliminated those things in the analysis phase, they are extend their wings into design phase also. So in the design phase, what are the problems we are creating for our softwares? For that also we have three things. Then if you come to the second one, testing object oriented analysis and object oriented design phase. So here we have 2 points. One is correctness of object-oriented analysis and object-oriented design, and second, consistency of object-oriented models. How we can maintain the correctness is by using specified notations and syntax for the classes modeling. Then second one, consistency means how we can provide the consistency for object-oriented design suites by using two concepts, either CRC, nothing but class responsibility collaboration, or object relationship models. So with the help of these two concepts, we can provide consistency to the object oriented models. Based on these two concepts, some assignment questions are given to you.